y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am Madison if you're new, and if you did not know, I am a flight attendant. So I figured today I would just do a how I became a flight attendant and how you can too. So just to preface, I did only apply to one airline. This was a very last minute change. This was a random thought that I had one night, so I just kind of went for it. But obviously keep your options open, take what resonates. Obviously I feel like we all get into different things at different times for different reasons and different ways, but this is just how I got into it. So first I feel like I might just like weave in and out of why/how I became a flight attendant, but I guess my first tip is to get your applications in at the correct time, especially if you're wanting to do mainline. So that's what I am. I work for a top 10 mainline carrier, and I actually am based in Las Vegas. And I don't want to be like topper, but some of the other main airlines will only hire at certain times. The application will probably only be open one day for maybe 4 hours, so definitely like you have to be super ready for that whenever that does happen. Like I know Southwest recently was hiring, so their little portal, a lot of the times how you can figure out when they are is one, by word of mouth. So like other flight attendants can let you know. I know a Southwest flight attendant actually told me about it. And then also on Reddit, if you just Google like Southwest, Delta, American, any of those, or I know I follow another travel or flight attendant who works with American, and she actually put it on her YouTube whenever they were hiring, so they were just hiring. So that would definitely be my number one tip, is be mindful of when they are. Keep in mind, I guess, some of the top 3, top 4 airlines. I'm going based on like, I guess, rank. I know there is a rank system. I'm trying to think how to word this. Or I guess just the ones that maybe you are more aware of. I guess it's the legacy, that's what they're called. They hire probably once or twice a year, depending. So you just kind of have to be ready. And yeah, Reddit, you can look. I know for me what actually happened was I was flying so much back and forth between New Orleans and Las Vegas. Actually flew Frontier because they were low cost and it was nonstop. So I remember after I got back one night, it was like a Sunday night at 9 p.m. I got back to my New Orleans apartment, and like I was just thinking, I was like, wow, it would be so cool to be a flight attendant just like in another life, you know what I mean? Like, no, obviously not this life. And so I randomly just Googled like Las Vegas flight attendant, and Frontier was the only one hiring. And I had no problem because obviously I flew Frontier so much. And yeah, so only one hiring. They were hiring Las Vegas, which that's gonna be another important thing, which I'll touch on later in this video. And yeah, so I randomly applied, and typically what you'll do is you'll just do your online application. So you just basically upload a resume. You might answer some questions, do your jobs. A lot of the times you want to have some kind of customer experience. For me, I had a lot of medical experience because I was a medical assistant. I did lab research. I had just gotten my master's in microbiology, but I also worked as a stylist at a local boutique not local, but just a boutique in New Orleans. So that's kind of where I had more customer service. So keep that in mind, because those are the jobs that you're going to want to list. I also put that I was a teacher because that is a awesome skill, because you can just handle so many individuals. You are a self-starter. There's so much. If you're a teacher, that is applicable to like any job field, so definitely put that down. And what's going to happen is you're going to get a video interview, or it's going to be a phone call. In my case, it was a video interview. They do a little prep. For me, I did go all out. I did have a ring light already, so I set up a ring light. You definitely want to make sure you kind of look the part. I think I still had my hair half up, half down. You want to wear obviously a business shirt, and I think mine was only 2 questions. Some of these you might get to redo your response. Mine was not one of those, so you kind of had to be ready. Pretty sure, I'm trying to think. I think mine, it's like general questions, so like any interview questions that you can think of, those are probably the ones that you would get. I think mine, like one of mine was like, why would you want to work at Frontier? Or like, why would you want to be a flight attendant? You should probably have that answer in there. Anyways, and from then I know the timing is different for every single airline. I know from when I put in my online application, it took 2 days for me to get a video interview. So for me, I will say I feel like things just kind of went seamlessly, super easy, and yeah, it's kind of like I was made for this. I don't know. Whereas like I had roommates in training and stuff, they applied to 5 different airlines. This was like their last option, or just things like that. But I guess it just depends how picky you are. Don't give up and don't be too hard on yourself if you don't get an interview the first time, or you do get all the way to like an in-person interview and then you get sent home. Don't be too hard. It's a learning process. Things work out the best way. All right, sorry I kept getting interrupted. My memory card just got full, but I moved. I had a towel right here and I just opened the blinds, so hopefully a little better quality. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Okay, I'm just gonna go on. So basically put in your that's during training. Okay, so basically you'll do your video interview. I think I said I applied on Sunday, and then on Tuesday I actually heard back. That's when I got my video interview. Now it will kind of take a little bit. I heard some other airlines will take months. Sometimes it can take an entire year, it can take a month. I ended up hearing back 2 weeks after that I was invited to an in-person interview. They were actually gonna fly me out, and yeah, so I think the in-person one was like at the end of the month or 2 weeks after. So that one I actually flew, yeah, I flew myself because they offered to fly you, and if they do, typically it's only going to be for a day. So mine was in Denver. I actually let my boyfriend come with me. That's when I told him I applied to be a flight attendant, and we both, I flew to Vegas first, and then we flew to Denver, and we actually stayed the weekend in Denver. But yeah, I will say I do not know how everyone else's in-person interview is. Again, I literally only went to my airlines, and everything worked out. So but another thing is definitely, I guess just for an in-person interview, I've always kind of been good at interviews. I think I tend to get jobs that I apply for, but I mean, obviously I don't always get them. But for the flight attendant, you have to dress the part, have your hair back, wear the colors they tell you to wear. Do not wear any other colors. I know my airline was a little different, so this was actually a really fun interview. They got people to dance during it, they got people to sing during it. It definitely was interesting. So I guess I'll speak on the different components, I guess, that my in-person had. Obviously, ours, I don't know how much of this I'm supposed to say, but I mean, I think it's fine. So ours was actually just a like speed interview, and then we had a second interview as well. So just be prepared. I know some airlines will do 2-person, like you and another candidate will interview. That seems intimidating. But no, ours was just a speed one. So I mean, just know the basic questions, know why you would want to work for that airline, why you want to be a flight attendant, what qualities. Definitely know how to handle different situations. What are you going to do if someone doesn't want to wear a mask? What other things? How are you going to cope with being away from your family? And that's another thing, is you have to be open. So especially for some of the legacy airlines, you're probably not going to get to choose where you're doing reserve, and you're not going to get to choose where you live for a little bit. Thankfully, my airline, they gave us 3 choices, which I think, thankfully, that's where I wanted to live. So it worked out. But also you have to make sure like you're open about it, because there could be a chance that you say you want to go to this place and then it's already full, so you have to go to another. So are you willing to commute? Well, first, I would say that you're open to move, because they really do discourage commuting. A lot of flight attendants commute, so it's not really a big deal. Obviously, don't lie. If you just say like you're willing, just be open to moving, because if you say no, I want to stay in my small little city in Louisiana, you're probably not going to get hired. So yeah, just be open, be enthusiastic, obviously be positive. If you have any negative experiences from your job, probably don't bring that up. I know for me, kind of try and connect with your interviewers. I know for me, my last interview was so much fun because 2 ladies that I talked to were just we connected very well. One of them had a last minute career change, so we were talking about that and just different things like that. So definitely be the energy that you want to attract and that you want to be. So be prepared for some kind of public interaction. There was about 100, like it was 150 or 190. I think there was 150. So we all had to go up one at a time, and you would say your name, where you're from, I think, and then you got to answer like a fun little question. So I remember mine, I was like, hi, I'm Madison, I'm from New Orleans, or I'm living in New Orleans, I'm not from New Orleans. And I think mine was, if you could have anyone fly with you, who would you have? And I said I would have Dua Lipa fly with me, so that while we are ascending, she could play levitating, or like sing levitating. And I was like, and because she's a fellow Leo, so it was fun. The MCU could call her, she was another flight attendant. She was like, oh, like you're into astrology, me too, my husband's this, like, so just kind of like you have to be personable. Also, whenever I brought up Louisiana, they would ask questions. So just know, like, you're probably gonna be in front of like 100 people while saying this, so like be prepared for that. If you're nervous, it's okay, don't say you're nervous, everyone's nervous, just do it, okay? Be at that aspect. And then the two, and a lot of the times, at least how ours would work, is they would call out your numbers, and half the numbers would get called to another room, the other half would get called to this room, this half got sent home, this half didn't. You're going back. Mine was an entire 12-hour day. I was there from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. because at least for ours, you also will do a drug test and things like that. So plan according. Anyways, that's enough on the interview. You're going to do great. If you want any more interview things, just ask me. But anyways, after that, it is time. You've got training. You're ready. Put in your all. Stay focused. Literally. My class, and I think we all know if you're in my class, it was definitely a bit dramatic. We had a lot of people sent home. A lot of people failed. Again, it just depends on the airline how long training is. I'm not going to get into all the details, but just our training was 3.5 weeks. I think Delta and stuff is like 8 weeks. So know that you're probably not going to see your family, your boyfriend, whoever, for that long. It's probably going to be somewhere. Ours was in a snowy place, and there's nothing really to. But remember why you're there. I'm there to be a flight attendant. I'm not there to enjoy the city, really, but you can enjoy it. So yeah, just be prepared. I know for training wise, and I can make a training video too because there's so many components. But anyway, there's training. Stay focused. I know for us, we had to get a percentage right. Did have a few retakes that you could use. You're gonna have to know door drills. So like, you're gonna have to. I mean, I don't want to be like, I don't think it's that hard. If you put in the work, you will be rewarded, because I don't want to make this too long, because I can also do a training video. Sorry, I could talk forever. I think something else that I said is be willing to move, which I already said. See your family less, especially as a flight attendant. I still have not gone home yet, and I'm not even going home to see my family. I'm going to visit my sister because that's where my airline actually flies. Make less pay. Yeah, you didn't join to be making the high dollars at first. And yeah, so definitely I found this kind of helped with me is you want to have some form of a savings. If you don't know, just be prepared, because some trainings will pay you at the end of training. So if you go all the 8 weeks or 4 weeks or whatever, they'll pay you like $1,200 or however much. Some might give you a stipend, but they might not give you food. Most are going to pay for your housing. Some you might have a roommate. I had roommates. My roommate's cool. Hey Jill, if you're watching. Or others, you might have like a 2-bed to yourself. So just be prepared. But in the aspect of having a savings, I actually got underpaid my entire time as teaching. So whenever I first started training, I actually got back pay from my job. So I got like $6,000, which was amazing because I was not getting paid for a month. That's how long my training was. And then typically whenever you start a job, you're not going to get paid for the next month or 2 weeks after that. So yeah, along with that, I would say also be prepared, because some of these places where they have bases are not cheap. Las Vegas is not a cheap place to live. Miami, not a place cheap to live. So might have to get a crash pad or definitely live with roommates. But you know, you can't really do you gotta be mindful with money. So keep that in mind. at first. This video is so long and I'm sorry, I just feel like there's a lot to say. So yeah, be prepared. I know my first month I did not have any say in my schedule. I didn't have a say in an off day. I was actually supposed to be in a wedding and I couldn't even go. So, but like that's what you signed up for, and I think they kind of make that clear whenever you go through training, and especially at your interview. You are signing up to spend Christmas in Cleveland. That's what our MC said, and that's true. However, with that being said, most of the time you will have some kind of wiggle room. Again, it depends on your airline, how fast you're on reserve. If you don't know what reserve is, this is me a long video, but it's okay. Actually, right now, I have been flying for about 2.5 months, almost 3 months. For my next schedule, I have Friday and Saturdays off. And then I also got the 4 days off that I wanted too, additional with that. So it just depends. If you are at the very bottom of the reserve stack and your company only hires once a year, you're probably not gonna have that much say. Luckily, my company was hiring every single month, so I have 40 people under me right now, so I do have some wiggle room. The older flight attendant showed me how to bid, so that was amazing. I'm so glad that she showed me. Because yeah, the way that they told us to bid, like we're supposed to bid a different way, like, and it's better. I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, just be prepared if you have to work weekends. You're not getting to go to Hawaii at first. You get to go to, Chicago's cool. You get to go to, I'm trying to think, Ontario, places like that. Not hating, just, would you rather be in Cabo? Would you rather be in Cleveland? So just be prepared. And also sometimes it will take a little bit for your benefits to kick in. I know my airline, most of the time you can commute free anywhere, but it at least takes 6 months for us to fly on any other airline. And then if you want your friend, your boyfriend, your mom and them, it might take them a month or two to get them in the system to where they can fly too. Just keep all that in mind. And I guess lastly, just have a strong support system throughout everything, especially throughout training. I know training is a lot, it's tiring. At the end of the day, you did it, you're a flight attendant, you get to live a fun life. I love my job. And I also would say like for pay wise, there are like ways that you can get paid more. But yeah, I love it. I am actually, while I'm making this video, I'm getting paid right now. Because I guess whenever you're on reserve, they pay you a certain amount regardless if you fly that much. So I was on call today and I didn't get called. Woo! Some people love to get called. I just don't want to today because I just did a leg. I did 4 legs yesterday, so I'm kind of tired. Yeah, so any other questions you have, comment below. This was my experience. I really did not know much. I started following one flight attendant on YouTube. But yeah, I definitely would say take everything lightly. What happens is meant to happen. What airline you go to is meant to happen. If you make it through training, if you don't, either way you've learned lessons, and just put a smile on your face, and if this is really what you want to do, it's gonna happen and you've got it. So yeah, good luck. I hope you'll like this. I hope this kind of helped. I feel like there's so much to explain because I didn't even know what reserve was whenever I first became a flight attendant. I didn't know. And that's another thing too. Reserve, certain companies you'll be on reserve longer. Some are 10 years. Mine, I am hoping, is only 6 months to a year. So that is where it kind of depends on you. How willing are you? Would you rather work for maybe a low-cost air carrier, or would you rather do first class service? It just depends. It's up to you. But I personally feel like it's a chill job. I enjoy going to work, which is an odd thing to say. I've never wanted to go to work before, and now I do. So yeah, thanks so much. Subscribe below. Let me know if y'all have any other questions. Thanks.